Salud! How are you? So it is the afternoon, and here's what I am dealing with. And I'm very curious as to other people are dealing with this too. So, morning, everything is great. I'm like, I can do this. It's all good. We get up, we have our coffee, we chat. She says some crazy stuff. I think today was about makeup. She didn't put any yogurt on her face or toothpaste today. What? Take the win. She didn't want to do water aerobics, but we went and she sat by the pool and said hi to people. So everything is fine. We come back, we have a few laughs. Again, we chit chat. Everything is, we're getting through our day. We had a new refrigerator delivered today, so I couldn't go anywhere, which was fine. Like I said, we just kind of hung out, watched a little TV, had breakfast, whatever. And then she goes down for a nap. And then she wakes up and it's like Jekyll and Hyde. And it's been like this for like a week. She's fine in the morning. And then somewhere in the afternoon, something changes. So she wakes up from her nap. Where's Rick, her partner? Rick said he was going to take me to the doctor this morning. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I am very sick. She's been going on and on about how sick she is. I'm coughing and I'm wheezing and I'm sneezing. Not true. Not true. And I have asthma myself, so I'm highly tuned into her chest. And I know when she's having a hard time breathing. And there's been a couple of times in the last week where she's been a little, wheezy in the morning, and I've given her spray. Not one cough, not one sneeze, nothing. She's like, I'm very, very sick, and I have to go to the doctor. And Rick is off just doing tra la la can. I don't care about him. I need to go to the doctor. So she's freaking out. And so I give her the phone and she calls the doctor and leaves a message. I'm very sick. I'm coughing. I'm wheezing. Call me back. Yada, 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 yada. And she leaves the phone number, her phone number. Now, I've actually taken the phone away. That's for another episode. And actually, that's like another thing that decisions that need to be made and the pros and the cons. And I was going to get into that with you. But anyway, for now, she doesn't have a phone. So she leaves the phone number. I was going to call the doctor back and tell him just to, I don't know what. But anyway, so then she puts down the phone and I said, well, why don't you help me put all the food back in the fridge? Try to distract. I'm not very good at this distraction thing, or she's not as easily distractible as people say they should be. Right? Anyway, so she's like, no, I can't. Because what if I'm reorganizing the refrigerator and the doctor calls? I'll miss the call. And I'm like, you won't miss the call. Anyway, I said, fine. Then I like try something. I'm like, let's sing a song, right? Because music is supposed to be good. So I have a terrible voice and I sing, sing a song, sing out loud. There you go. Fun, right? Glad you had saw that. And then I looked for some karaoke songs on YouTube. Not as easy as I thought it would be to find what I was looking for because she's just really hard. What do you like? I don't know. Do you like the Beatles? I don't like the language they use. What are you talking about? How about the Bee Gees? I never heard of them. How about the Carpenters? Like I'm going through all these bands in the 60s and the 70s. Oops, sorry. All these bands in the 60s and the 70s. And she's like, I don't know any of them. So finally, I'm like, Grease. You have to know Grease, right? So I find karaoke version of Grease and we fire that up. And she has a little bit of a giggle. And then, although I don't think she knew what it was. And then I'm like, whatever, we'll like fire up the movie. And then she's back on it. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say, in the middle of all this, she's like, I have to go home and change. I'm like, change into what? She's like, I have to get dressed. I'm like, you are dressed. She's like, no, I have to put on something nicer. Like, you have to put on something nicer to go to the doctor. And she has been putting on silk skirts and tops lately. I'm like, okay, great. And she's like, yes, I'm going to get dressed. I'm like, okay. And then I don't know. And then I say, finally, I'm like, well, what about what you're wearing? It's perfectly nice. She goes, this whole thing, I've been wearing it for 10 years. I'm like, well, actually, you put it on an hour ago because we spilled water all over the previous dress that she was wearing. And what's been happening, I am learning, is that I keep checking to see if she's come out of the bedroom. Anyway, what I'm learning is I've got to keep dresses here for her as well as dresses at Rick's house because she goes back and forth and she spent an hour folding stuff up earlier in the bedroom, which I should have recognized as a sign of agitation. But I don't know what it is about the afternoons that is triggering this immense agitation. Anyway, if anybody has any thoughts, feel free to clue me in. Salute!